How many nugs do you think you could eat? Think you could eat 100 nugs?
I don't think I could clear 100.
Really?
I'm
shocked
I think I could get to like 32 and start to feel like I'm going to throw up.
I'm shocked that both of you are not confident you could eat 100 nugs.
That's a lot of nugs,
It's a
dude.
lot.
Because I think I could do it no problem.
Hi, welcome back to the Radial podcast. My name's Austin. I'm joined by Devin
Hello.
and Jeff.
Buongiorno.
Devin, I got to talk shit about what you're wearing again.
All right.
I don't have any problem with this one.
Your shirt just says root beer.
It's a very good shirt.
It's fine. I mean, your shirt just is the Captain America shield, so, like, how's it any different?
Oh, I'm immature as hell. I'm a nearly 30-year-old man wearing a comic book t-shirt.
I'm just a big
He's
fan
a-
of root beer.
Tell me
Nearly
about
30-year-old man wearing a beverage on
Tell
his
me
shirt.
about y'all's adventure to the convenience store on your way over here.
Devin is wearing a root beer shirt. That's a true statement. We walked into the convenience store, and the cashier said, he's wearing a root beer shirt. I love root beer. It's my favorite. He then proceeded to buy a root beer, and she got even more excited.
Did she lose her fucking mind?
I don't know.
A little bit. I don't know. I didn't hear the initial statement because I was not paying attention, and then I was confused when I got to the counter, and she like talked as if we'd been talking already.
It's because in her mind you had.
Yeah. Also worth noting that when they say root beer shirt, it literally just in text is the word root beer.
Yeah, it's not like an A&W t-shirt or something like that. It just says root beer.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of root beer. No particular brand. Just root beer in general. It's good.
That's
It's the one good soda.
it's a
I
bad,
do enjoy a root beer.
it's a bad shirt.
I'm fine with it.
It's great.
It's a bad shirt. Speaking of bad things, you watched part of the recap for the Suzuka 10 hour.
Yeah, so I sat down and was going to watch the 10 hours of Suzuka, and I was like, this is 10 hours. Luckily, they've got a like 1 hour long highlight package. So I put that on, and it was just terrible. The presentation was terrible. So there was a single commentator, and he sucked. And the track audio was barely audible. So it's like you can barely hear the cars. It's just this asshole like talking to himself the entire time. Also, the like scoreboard didn't list the make of the cars. So it's like I knew the Super GT cars and could recognize their team names. But for the cars from different series that were participating, it's like, oh, I have no idea what this car is. So if I see like a pack fighting, I'm like, I have no idea where this is taking place. Like I have no idea where these cars are or what they are. So it just made it really hard to follow. Like kind of no matter who you were. Because like I imagine like if you're like a fan of Intercontinental GT, which is the championship this is a part of, like you'd recognize those cars, but not the Super GT ones probably. And me as a Super GT fan didn't recognize all the Intercontinental cars. So it was weird and just unpleasant. And also just like super boring, the highlight package. Like it was a bad highlight package. So I turned it off after like 15 minutes maybe.
Smart.
Yeah. It sucked. I was just excited to watch that, and then it was just a really unpleasant experience.
Why did Nismo TV not cover it?
Because it is not part of Super GT. And also,
okay.
like, Nissan did not have any, like, factory cars in it.
Oh, okay. That makes
Based on Yan's assessment, I kind of knew that that's how this was going to turn out. So
Yeah.
I mean, he is nothing if not trustworthy.
Yes. He climbed Mount Fuji the other weekend.
He did.
that's neat.
Yeah, saw that. I was
I
like,
see
cool.
as many pictures of it as I would have liked to have. I would like to go to Mount Fuji. I would like to go to the Japanese mountains.
I'd like to go to Japan. I could not really be bothered to go to the mountain.
You could probably go to Japan.
Yeah. So one of these days.
I don't think it'd be that expensive if you just Airbnb'd your way
It's,
across.
it's still
It's
like
a very expensive plane ticket.
Yeah, it's an expensive plane ticket, but
for a trip to Japan, I'd be looking at blocking out like $3,000.
that's it.
For
Just for the
just
plane
for
ticket.
plane ticket and
Okay.
lodging, and then food on top of that.
Plus all the Gundams.
Gundams, yeah. You got to come back with a bunch of Gundams.
Got to get a bunch of Gundams.
The
Got to
Nico merchandise.
get Miku'd up. Got to go ham on the Biru.
Yep.
Sake bombs.
Hell yeah, man, sake's pretty good.
So if
Is
you-
Biru something different than just beer?
No, it's just Japanese for beer.
So, Kyoto or Tokyo?
Tokyo.
All the way? The whole time?
No, not all the time. I mean, probably also swing by Kumamoto.
See your boy Kumamon?
Yeah, you go see Kumamon during his office hours. He's got an office, and you swing by and you're like, "What's up, man?" And he's like, "I'm a fucking bear."
Our audience is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Except for like the one occasional download that we have from Japan.
And they're like, "Hell yeah, I love
Like fucking hell
talking
yeah.
about where I live."
Kumamon.
Localization. We're relating to you, listener.
So do you want to talk about the Suzuka 10 hour at all?
That was it. I did it.
All right, cool.
The Gundam car won,
Yeah.
and Miku finished P5.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right.
Miku actually did really well. I think started like P19 out of
pretty good.
35. But
It's pretty good.
yeah, it was just, yeah, it was such a bummer trying to watch that highlight package.
You guys want to talk about a good race?
Yes.
You guys want to talk about Monza?
Yes. Wait, was there any news this week? I don't feel like
Not
it.
really, I don't think.
Yeah, the driver rumor mill keeps spinning, but like nothing's actually confirmed there.
Nothing's actually happening, so it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Lance Stroll, Force India has confirmed, has like come by and done like
yeah. He did a seat fitting,
seat fitting.
which is like, yeah, we already know he's going to be there next year
Yeah.
for sure.
But they were also like checking to make sure he could fit into their car,
Yep.
which of course he can because Ocon's taller than him. So,
yeah, so that'll happen.
although has been some stuff going around, like yeah, Force India really wants to do as well as they can the remainder of the year, so they might just keep Ocon to maximize their points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
pretty
Ocon
funny.
might have his seat through the end of the year.
I hope so. Like that'd be a real shitty thing to do. It's like swap drivers mid-season
Yeah,
Qualified
just-
P3 just last week.
just
Like,
because Lance Stroll's dad bought Force India.
yeah.
Like,
Luckily, it is like Lance Stroll's dad and others. Like he's not like sole owner of the team.
Yeah.
So like, hopefully they can be like, man, no, we actually want to do well. Like, I don't want your fucking kid
Lance
in
Stroll's
here.
ending up in that seat.
Yeah.
Period. But
But for this year, like, come on, man, we already lost so many points. Let's
try to make the best of it. Your kid's already got a seat somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have any practice notes? I saw Ericsson got in a pretty bad.
turns out your DRS closing is something that you want to have happen when you're
It's
trying to turn.
Super important.
Yes. Yeah, he got into like a real bad wreck all by himself because his DRS didn't close, but he was fine.
He rotated both left and right and frontwards and backwards, I think, all in one crash.
Neat.
It was rolling down the field in turn one.
Anything else of note happen in practice?
Not that I can think of. Also, I want to say he did like 28 Gs during that crash.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Which then they put up like a fun fact after that, and they're like, by the way, like astronauts do like 3 Gs when they're launching into orbit.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right at all.
Well, that's what it said.
Anything of note happen in qualifying?
Yes, Force India fucked up.
They did.
That's what happened in qualifying. They predicted that Perez would be safe to get into Q2 and then left him in the garage, and then he got bumped out of Q2.
Sucks to suck.
Turns out 3Gs is right for astronauts.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, they just like did their calculations bad, or like everyone did better than they were expecting. So
It kind
yeah,
of seemed like it was the latter because they were like, yeah, there's like 6 or 7 cars that are within a couple tenths of each other.
yeah. I want to say everyone from except the top 3 teams was within half a second of each other. It was really tight in Q1. And then in Q2, I've got some good notes. They got on the horn and were talking to Christian Horner. And then let me actually get my notes so I can actually read this. So it was David Croft talking to Christian Horner. He's like, yeah, Perez not participating after being knocked out in Q1. That's probably a bit of a bonus for your team, isn't it? Christian Horner, I'm not quite sure why. Because Force India have the pace to be right up there alongside Max on the grid. Or not, do you think? And they got good pace. Not quite sure they've got that pace.
Yeah.
Just like David Croft trying to be like, yeah, it's a good thing Perez isn't there because he might cause you competition. And Horner's like, no, like, fuck off.
Christian Horner seems like he's progressively being more and more done with their shit as the season goes on.
Yeah. And like they, I'm not going to read this one verbatim, but it's just like a little bit later in that conversation, they were asking Horner like about what they thought the safe time would be to get into Q3. And he said it, and they're like, all right, yeah. So Max is just clear of that, but you'll probably send him out again just in case, right? And Horner's like, why? Like, you either believe in your calculations or you don't. So why would we send him out?
Yep.
He's clear of it. And then I think they did actually send him back out.
They sure did.
So yeah, sounds like Christian Horner's done with their shit.
Yeah.
But they talk to him every weekend. I like talking to him.
Almost every weekend.
Yeah.
They talked to him and Otmar last weekend.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I think.
I'd like to get to Toto on there sometime.
He's too busy, man.
He's too busy.
Banging his fist on the table and clapping.
Strategizing.
Yeah. I'd also like to see Arriva Bene, but I feel like that is never going to happen.
Nope. He's too busy
Smoking.
and slicking his hair back.
Yeah.
And just being stereotypical Italian.
The dude looks so cool. Like, I bet he's just like a boring ass, like regular dude, but
He looks like a mafia guy or
He
something.
looks like what you would think like an Italian businessman would look
Is he the
like.
Godfather?
Anything else of note in qualifying?
not except for the results.
Yeah, do you want to run us down the starting grid?
Yes. So the Ferraris kind of looked super strong all weekend, and then at the end of the session, like, started banging in some really good times. Everybody did. So I think it was Bottas was on top, and then Hamilton put it in his lap and was on top, and then Vettel, and then Kimi, just each one better than the person before them. So Kimi ends up on pole position with Vettel P2. So Ferrari lockout on the grid.
Something of note, Kimi put in the fastest qualifying lap in F1 history.
That took me a while to figure out what they were talking about. They meant it has the highest average speed.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? Like, they have other tracks with shorter lap times.
Yeah.
And then I realized now what they were after.
Word.
Yep. So yeah, Ferrari lockout in Monza, which is nice for them. Because I think they haven't won here since 2010, I think
Yep.
they said.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, it's Kimi, Vettel, Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, Grosjean, Sainz, Ocon, Gasly, and Stroll rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Williams
Oh,
made it
neat.
into Q3 for the first time this year.
Yeah.
Look at them. Figuring out what they're doing with all that paint.
Hulkenberg,
Yeah, paint must be
Ericsson, and Ricardo all starting from the back due to penalties. Hulkenberg starting from the backest due to his 10-place penalty from last weekend. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So that is the grid.
You guys ready to start this race?
Yes, I am.
All right, so lap one, the lights go out. Brendan Hartley gets like pincered. It was between Marcus Ericsson and Stoffel Van Dorn. I
Yes.
think?
I don't think Van Dorn actually touched him.
No, it was Ericsson who came across, but pinched off Brendan Hartley. The right side front suspension failed,
Yep.
so he's immediately out of this race.
That
Going in,
happens to that guy a lot.
Kimi gets a good start. Vettel falls in behind him, followed by Hamilton. All three of those guys are pretty close going into turn 4.
I want to say first, I was
chicane.
surprised. Like Kimi gets a good start and then like immediately moves over in front of Vettel, like kind of blocking him off. I was surprised to see that. I kind of expected Vettel to get past Kimi at the start of this race.
I think that he probably would have had Kimi not cut him off.
Yeah,
but like if I was Kimi Räikkönen, I would want to win this fucking race. Like,
yeah.
It's a Ferrari's home track, and the Tifosi are out in force. And Kimi Räikkönen, what's his like getting on the podium but not having a victory streak right now? It's pretty high,
Very high.
he has 100 podiums to his name, and it's been 108 races since his last win.
Yeah, so
he hasn't. Wow. He's actually not won for Ferrari since he rejoined them after his retirement.
If I were Kimi Räikkönen, I would want to win a fucking race.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were anybody, I'd want to win a race.
Well, yeah, but like in the position that they're in, where his teammate is fighting for the World Drivers' Championship, I wouldn't give a fuck. I would just want that win. I'd be that hungry for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, going into turn 4, I believe Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel are side by side and make contact. Lewis is on the outside, Vettel's on the inside. Vettel actually gets spun around. Falls all the way to the back of the pack.
Yep.
Does some sick burnouts, sick spin turns.
Yep. Safety cars deployed shortly after this because of Brendan Hartley's car.
Yep. Worth noting also that Max has got past Bottas at this point already.
Yes.
So good on him.
And I think did Ricardo have a little bit of wing damage, or did he just pit for whatever reason?
I think he just got tires. Just to switch onto the faster tires.
Yeah.
And get the...
He's already in the back, so...
Yeah.
Although I'm kind of surprised they didn't start on the faster tires. I don't know. Like, if they wanted those tires at that early on, why not start on them?
Since
they had the choice.
That safety car.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really lose any track position.
Yeah, that's a fun fact.
He just gets the faster tire.
Fun fact
point.
The announcers gave us this weekend was this is the first safety car in Monza since 2013.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a really fast track. So it's kind of weird that
with
nothing
a
happens.
couple of chicanes right after high-speed sections.
Yeah.
So.
But Stewart's note or investigate the collision between Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. Nothing ends up coming out of that, just a racing incident. Lap 3, the safety car ends. Räikkönen leads the pack. Lap 4, Hamilton makes a move on Räikkönen, gets by him, and then Räikkönen gets right back by him.
That was a really good sequence because I thought that it was just going to be done as soon as Hamilton got around him.
Yeah.
So I was really stoked to see Kimi.
I thought it was going to be like last
back.
week where you decide the race like 20 laps in.
Yeah.
Not even that at this point, and then boring.
Yes, it was really good to see like Kimi actually fight back, because I feel like Kimi doesn't really fight back that often. Like, he usually puts in a pretty good job on qualifying day, but like in races doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
Like, nothing particularly good. It's just like, yeah, he's out there in the best car and he's getting, I don't know, like third or fourth.
Yeah, he's not super aggressive.
Yeah.
Lap 8, Gasly and Ricciardo touch as they go into turn 3. Ricciardo's trying to make the move on Gasly.
Yeah, that was worrying.
Bumped a couple of times, giving me some serious
They were
anxiety.
talking to Christian Horner as that had happened also.
Yeah.
And Christian Horner was just like, oh, we got to make sure it doesn't have any wing damage. But, like, still just being like, I'm kind of fucking done with you guys. I don't want to have this conversation with you.
Yeah.
We got shit going on right now. Lap 9, Vettel's hard charging through the field, gets by Ricciardo with DRS down the start-finish straight. He's in 14th now. Lap 10, Alonso has a problem.
Yeah.
Comes in, just coasting down the pit lane, engine's off, so he's retired.
McLaren, man, just...
They're fucked, dude.
Yep.
It seems so fucked up. Like, all my predictions coming into this season were 100% wrong.
Yep.
My soul really hurts. Lap Lap 11, Ricardo and Gasly touch again going into turn 1. Daniel Ricciardo trying to do his late break move and Pierre Gasly having none of it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this track feels narrower than a lot of the others.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's less room to do that sort of thing.
But lap 12, Ricardo finally gets by Pierre Gasly. I'm sure there was some radio transmission going on there at some point that was just like, hey, man.
We're not racing him.
Yeah.
Let him go. Vettel also charging through the field at a rapid clip. Like gets pretty far ahead of Ricardo.
Yes.
Whereas they were both kind of just like going through together, cutting through the field.
Yeah.
And then it eventually started spreading out, kind of
if I was
starting
Daniel
with this
Ricciardo, I
Gasly
would try
stuff.
to hang on to the back bumper of Sebastian Vettel as long as possible, but he does have probably the best car on the grid. So, Raikkonen still maintaining the gap to Hamilton. It's about 1 second. Hamilton has DRS, but just can't seem to get it done.
Which is exciting to see, for this many laps, the top two cars staying this close together.
Yeah. Lap 16, Sebastian Vettel still just hard charging through the field. Used DRS to get past Stroll for 9th. Lap 17, Vettel overtakes Perez into turn 1, but he outbrakes himself. Goes really wide. I'm sure the Tifosi are bummed out watching this race, having to watch him come all the way back from the back.
Yeah. Worth noting also that he is on the soft tire, and they're thinking that maybe he can go to the end of the race on this tire.
Yeah.
Which seemed wildly optimistic.
Hang on. While we're speaking of wildly optimistic, do you guys remember when it was lap 5 right after Daniel pitted and got put on the super softs? They're like, well, Christian, do you think he's going to go to the end on these tires? I'm like, are you fucking retarded? Oh my God.
I know that those dudes just have to come up with some stuff to talk about, but at the same time, I wish that it was more intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're going to go 45 laps on the super soft tire. We're going to pit for mediums.
Lap 19, Bottas starting to put some pressure onto Verstappen for third. I'm noticing that coming into that first corner, that first set of chicanes, I keep noticing Max is outbraking himself and cutting the chicane, and he's pretty far ahead of Bottas.
Did he keep doing it? I thought he just did it.
He did it multiple times.
Oh, I didn't notice.
And I don't remember what lap it is, but Charlie Whiting did come back to Red Bull and say, "Hey, enough of that shit. You can't do that anymore." He's got enough of a gap to Bottas that he doesn't have to give him a position or anything like that. They're not really battling, but it's one of those things where it's hey man, you can't continually make that mistake. So lap 20, Raikkonen comes in to the pits for softs, and he returns the track in 4th, just ahead of Grosjean. Lap 21, Hamilton's engineer tells him it's hammer time.
Yeah.
So he's got to try to do the undercut.
Yeah, I enjoyed the plainness of the strategy calls that were coming from the Mercedes radio during this. It was just look, man, you just got to go fast. We'll give you another lap and just put as much time between the two of you as you can to make sure that you come out in front.
Yeah, and I didn't this didn't look like it was working to me. I feel like they should have brought him in
he set
earlier,
the
maybe
fastest top lap of the race on lap 21, but that next lap he just started falling off.
Yeah, Kimi started taking just huge chunks out of him.
And then lap 22, Raikkonen's engineer told him Hamilton stayed out. We have to push.
Yeah.
And then Raikkonen responds to that with some purple sector times. Lap 23 is when Hamilton's engineers say, "Hey, one more lap. Just give us all you got, and then we'll get you into the pits." Lap 24, Vettel gets by Ocon for 5th place down in the turn 1.
Yeah, Ocon did a good job not hitting him because I felt like Vettel was sort of out of nowhere and just suddenly right there next to him. So I was pleased to see that there's no collision.
Also on lap 24, Daniel Ricciardo's car starts smoking.
Yeah.
He has to pull off to the side. Is telling his engineer that there's some vibration in the car. He felt something break.
Yep. Saw
Obviously,
smoke.
everybody, including the commentators and us, are just assuming it's the motor.
Yep.
Daniel Ricciardo took the new Renault power unit, and Renault themselves had said, "Hey, it's unreliable. It's worth 3/10, but we're not going to use it."
Yeah.
So we all made that assumption. I guess it came out after the race that it was the clutch that failed.
Yes.
The engine is just too powerful. The clutch can't hold it.
Yep. You got to get that stage C clutch or whatever.
Oh, speaking of things after the race, Renault has filed a complaint about Haas's floor on their car that they think it's illegal. So I don't know if the results of that have come out, but
Yeah, something about looking up through the floor and not being able to see other body panels is, or something along the lines is the way the rules is written, and they're saying that that's not how it is set up on that car. Like it's letting too much air in or out,
It's
essentially.
weird. How do they know that the floor is not legal though? 'Cause
You can
they
just
can't-
see it. No, they're talking about the parts that like stick out right behind the
Oh,
front
okay,
tires.
okay.
update on that. Grosjean's Haas has been found to be, quote, not in conformity with technical regulations.
Wow.
And he was stripped of his place that he finished in.
So did he just get disqualified from the whole
I
race?
think he's just disqualified.
Wow.
Sucks. Back to the race, lap 27. Raikkonen's closing down on Bottas for second, and Bottas is told to keep Kimi behind him.
Poor Bottas.
It's
Still on his starting tires.
Yeah, having to hold him off, and Lewis Hamilton had pitted and was in third, trying to close down onto Kimi Raikkonen. Lap 29, Raikkonen closes down to 1.1 seconds off Bottas for the lead. Raikkonen, lap 30, gets within DRS range. So it's kind of like dire situation.
It's like,
over
hey,
there.
you need to get past this guy because he's just going to hold you up
Yeah,
and
he's-
feed you to Hamilton.
Yep.
At the same time, I felt kind of bad for Bottas at this because it's
I
just
did
like,
as well.
He's
like
a
I
big man.
get what they're doing, but also like this is Bottas is going to lose his race with Max now because like it's really Raikkonen versus Hamilton for 1-2, and it seemed like Bottas Verstappen for 3-4,
Yeah.
and it's just like they want Lewis to get this win, so they're destroying
Well-
Bottas's race with Max.
Yeah, it seemed like that. This seemed like one of the things. It's like, well, this is why Mercedes wins constructor championships, is because
There's definitely some World Drivers' Championship strategy going on.
Yeah,
But there's still some constructors strategy going on here. Like it would benefit Mercedes to win this race over Ferrari.
Yeah.
And still have a good finish from Bottas. Speaking of Bottas, lap 36, he surrenders the lead and pits from the lead. Lap 37, Ferrari tells Kimi, we've got some vibration from the rear tires. Keep them alive.
yeah,
These tires are looking pretty rough. They keep showing us drivers' tires through the race, showing us like Sebastian Vettel's and Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Raikkonen's, and they've got these weird, abnormally shaped blisters
Yeah.
on the left front and the left rear.
yeah. It seems like Kimi really punished his trying to stay ahead of Hamilton when Hamilton was pitting. And yeah, at this point, it's like, oh, this has really hurt Kimi, and now he's got to really worry about his tires.
And at this time, Lewis Hamilton's within DRS range, but just isn't getting it done.
Yeah, and his tires are what, like 8 laps?
8 laps
younger.
newer. Yeah. Lap 39, Vettel gets into 5th place, overtaking Perez. So really hard charge and drive from Sebastian Vettel coming back from last place on lap 1. Lap 40, Hamilton still within DRS range, just not getting the job done still.
Yep. God, yeah. Again, just so exciting to see like, this late in the race, the top 2 cars right
Yeah.
there.
And they're both on hurt tires and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like, man.
It's like the entire race.
Yep.
So close.
Lap 43, contact between Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas into turn 1.
Yep. Like Bottas had caught him, and then like for several laps had been trying to make passes, and Max has just been defending, and here maybe defended a bit too hard, and just like pushed into Bottas, and Bottas had to take like the escape road.
Yeah. The rule is that like you can move to defend once and then move back to the racing line. Max was moving back to the racing line, but you have to leave a car's width. That's up in the air, whether it was a car's width or not. I mean, it's not up in the air because the stewards come back and they give Max Verstappen a 5-second time penalty. For bumping into Bottas there. So there's a radio transmission between Max's engineer and Max, telling Max like, "Hey, like, keep your head down, but we've got like a 5-second time penalty," and Max is fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like he comes back on the radio and it's like, "That's bullshit." Like I gave him room, and at this point, if you're Max Verstappen, what do you do? I mean, there's nothing you can do about your time penalty.
Yeah.
So do you stop racing Bottas, who's like you battling him is letting Vettel close the gap to you?
Yeah.
Or do you let Bottas by and try to maintain more than 5 seconds to Sebastian Vettel?
So here's the thing is you're Max Verstappen and you're young and pissed and you don't want Bottas to pass you on track.
Yeah.
So you explicitly say that you do not care that Vettel's closing the gap.
You don't fucking care. Fuck your team, and you lose 2 places at the end of the race.
Yeah. He also got 2 penalty points on his license for this.
Yeah.
For the hitting Bottas.
Yeah.
Lap 45, Hamilton leads the Italian Grand Prix. Gets by Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah.
Kimi's tires are pretty messed up.
Yeah, it was a bummer to see because it's like, oh man, I just want Kimi to win this race. Like, especially, like at the start, I was surprised to see Kimi not letting Vettel past him at the start. And then after Vettel got spun around, I was like, all right, Kimi has no reason to not just like push to win this race.
Yeah.
And then to see him like lose it here, it's like, oh, damn.
Yeah, that really sucks. I really wanted Kimi to win that race. I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I want to see like Kimi lose his cool, like not be the Iceman and get emotional.
I'm not sure he would.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like Mercedes' strategy here and destroying his tires the way he did.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, you kind of felt it was inevitable.
Lap 47, Bottas, he's still kind of battling Verstappen, but like doesn't actually have to pass him to get the podium.
Yeah. It's like as long as Bottas stays within 5 seconds.
And Vettel is closing like a second a lap at this point.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking maybe that like Max was thinking like, if I just keep Bottas behind, like Vettel might get him. And then it's like, yeah, I'm fucked, but also fuck you.
Yeah. Max is acting with the mindset of a 20-year-old. He's 20, right?
I think he's 20, yeah.
Yeah.
But this felt very much like a few years ago's Max Verstappen. Like, I remember at one race, I think the team came over and asked Max to like switch places with Carlos Sainz. And he just came back over the radio. Was like, no.
Yeah.
It was like it felt very that.
Yeah. Yeah. Not. I don't know, man. I'd be kind of pissed if I was a part of Red Bull.
Yeah, I bet Horner's like, you can't fucking do this.
Yeah. Lap 52, Raikkonen's told by his team that the tire situation is now critical.
You tell him to stay off the curbs at some point.
Yeah. He has an 8-second lead over Verstappen, who's in 3rd place, even though he's got his time penalty. So at a certain point, you just kind of like, all right, back off just a little bit because you only got to make it one more lap.
Yeah, like he was also just like falling away from Hamilton in a way that it's like, there's no chance we can get this back.
Yeah, like how shitty would it be though if you had a tire blowout?
Yeah.
Right there. Didn't that happen?
Yeah, I mean, that happened to Bottas at Azerbaijan.
Didn't it happen to Vettel like a couple seasons ago?
Yeah, I want to say at Spa.
Yeah.
God, yeah, that fucking sucked.
Yeah, lap 53, Hamilton wins. Raikkonen second. And then it's Bottas, Vettel, Verstappen because of Verstappen's time penalty.
Grosjean finishes P6, but is now disqualified.
Yep, he doesn't get any position.
Which promotes everyone up a spot, which means 11th place finisher Sergei Sirotkin is now 10th place and gets his first ever point.
Nice.
So now
Wow.
every driver has points.
Haas still has the right to appeal this. And
Okay.
they may have grounds to appeal. I was reading on this. That's why I've been quiet. Essentially, it sounds like there's part of their floor that has to have a certain amount of clearance to the front suspension. I think, like 50 millimeters plus or minus 2 millimeters. And somehow Renault said that you guys do not have that, and they brought pictures to prove it. And then Haas was like, "But we have this email chain saying like, hey, we're going to try to have this by Singapore, but like our suppliers." Is kind of up to them. So if we could have some leeway, that would be super. And they're like, you're going to leave yourself open to this by, appeal or what is it? Protest by other teams. So you should really try to get done by Monza when we said that is when you had to do it. And they said that they had like an email with the head of like the technical direction or something. And they were like, hey, we're going to try to have it by Singapore. Here's our proposed solution. He commented back on like the solution, but didn't acknowledge the timing of things. So they assumed that since he didn't acknowledge it, he was basically saying, okay, that seems fine. So they're probably going to appeal.
Interesting that it was just Grosjean and not.
I don't think they had pictures of the other car.
Yeah, but also I guess it doesn't really matter about Magnussen.
Didn't he finish dead last?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He got into, I think he had contact with Perez pretty early
I don't know,
on.
man. If I was Force India, I'd be looking for pictures because of how much of a bitch fit Haas has been throwing over Force India's like having to become a new team thing.
Oh, yeah. Speaking
Just
of
to-
last podcast, like I was like, oh, yeah, every team voted unanimously.
Yep.
Apparently that has turned out to not be true, despite like stories saying that Haas is apparently fighting Force India getting all of their prize money.
Yep.
Because I guess Gene Haas is just a big fucker.
Sounds like it.
And like just seems sort of like a petulant
Douche?
child.
Yeah, like a douchebag.
It's like, well, we didn't get the prize money. It's like, yeah, you're a new fucking team. These guys have been around for like at least like what, 10 years?
What was this team before it was Force India?
I
don't remember.
Don't remember.
I don't remember if this is like a new team or if it's was bought out by VJ.
Oh, why did it say founded in 1998 when it was actually 2007? It was 2007. They're 11 years old.
All right.
It was bizarre. The difference. They were formerly Spiker.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking Caterham for some reason, even though I knew that was wrong.
When did they get bought out?
2007?
Like 2007 is when they became Force India?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe Spiker was 1998.
Isn't Spiker like a car manufacturer?
I
Yes,
think so.
They make weird cars.
I think so. Do you guys have anything else to say about this race?
No, I have a weird picture that I haven't been able to glean anything meaningful out of the floor rules.
Neat.
Don't
The
know.
Tifosi chanting "fuck Hamilton" while they're in the green room. Is that what they were chanting, Jeff?
That's what I heard on the internet.
Lewis Hamilton not saying that they're the greatest fans in the world.
Yep.
Did comment on the negativeness of the crowd.
Yep. He's basically just like, yeah, fuck it. Let them hate.
Yeah, haters gonna hate.
Yep.
Um,
I let my haters be my elevators.
Motivators.
I push their buttons and they lift me up.
Felipe Massa doing the podium interviews.
Yeah.
Speaking
Why
of
were
which,
there podium interviews?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because they got interviewed like before the green room and then also on the podium.
It's weird.
Yeah. But it was like Massa was there, so they were going to use him.
Yeah.
I guess.
Uh,
Guy's
Ma-
got to do something.
Felipe Massa talking to the crowd in Italian because he used to race for Ferrari.
Yep. He's doing some Formula E stuff. Massa is these
Yeah, but
days.
I don't care about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't think anybody cares about that.
I care about Formula E.
Just because you want money.
This is true.
Formula E, please hire me.
Yeah. And that was Monza.
Yeah. So Hamilton extends his lead over Vettel. Not as much as I was initially afraid it would be.
What is it, 32 points?
It's 30.
30 points. What do you guys... All right, so I meant to say something about this last week. Now I'm going to say it now. These, like, little digital like billboard things they put on the track where it like tells you that dumb bullshit, or it's 30 point gap or whatever, and like shows the points and stuff on it. And it's like Hamilton push now or whatever. That shit is starting to get fucking obnoxious.
I'm glad that they toned down like the pulse effect on it, because last race in Spa, like the driver's picture would pulse as well, like it would get bigger and smaller, and then this time it was just the text, so like it's more tolerable than it was last week. I think it's still them just trying to be like, we could sell you this digital space.
It's getting to be fucking obnoxious, and I'm getting real sick of it. Like,
I don't have a huge problem with it because
it's too corny.
It is very corny.
Like they're making it like way more dramatic than what it actually is.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like it's them to be like, look at that. You didn't know that wasn't real. What did you? We could do that for your stuff.
Yeah.
We put your stuff right there.
Put Heineken ads right there, man.
We'll put a Heineken star of this whole damn track.
I don't know. Like if I wanted to watch like over dramatized bullshit, I'd watch wrestling. So I don't know. I'm just tired of it.
Do not care for the live points thing that they keep displaying, because I'm like,
because
I don't care what the results are 20 laps into this race.
I want to know at the end of the race.
A whole myriad of things can occur between now and the end of this race. This is not meaningful information to me, and it's just confusing.
Yeah, like I think they put up the live points thing while Hamilton was leading after Kimi had pitted, before Hamilton had done his pit stop. So his live points with Hamilton in a lead he hadn't
in a way that it couldn't finish.
Yeah, it was like Hamilton's in this lead that he didn't earn, and Vettel's still in like P12, where you know he's not going to finish. So it's like, why'd you put this up?
Yeah.
Like you know this is not how it's going to finish.
That's what I'm saying, is like they're kind of like over dramatizing it to an extent that is starting to be fucking annoying.
Yeah.
It's engineered insanity, Austin. I also think it's a bad tagline.
A little bit.
You have my favorite quote still.
Fuck off.
By the way, speaking of gaps, Hamilton is 30 points ahead of Vettel, but Mercedes is only 25 points ahead of Ferrari.
Ooh.
So
Constructor Championship, very much up for grabs.
Yeah, the thing's super close.
That's neat. Do you guys want to talk about something else?
What's that?
I fucked up.
Did you not put your things in for Fantasy GP?
I didn't do my Fantasy GP predictions.
You only lost one place, so it's fine.
Oh, nice. See, I didn't do that at all. I'm surprised I only lost one place. Adam Nielsen is still winning.
Damn. That's not good.
Mike Sayers in second. Zachary Carroll in third. I guess I'm in fourth. I expected to lose like 10 places.
The gaps were pretty big. Oh, shit, I lost a place. How's that possible?
Then Daniel, then Jeff, then Jim Jam, then Dusty. Yeah, I fucked up. I can't, So I was actually talking to Daniel about this, right? Because FP3 was still happening when I went to do my predictions, and the game was locked.
Huh.
Qualifying hadn't started yet, and the game was locked.
Because I've had it before where I was able to make changes right until the light turned green on quali.
Yeah, I was awake for FP3, had my phone open, and I went to go do it, and the game was locked. So
bizarre.
Yeah.
Although that website's not super stable.
Yeah.
Agreed. They've got an interesting order of their load. Like the things that they choose to build in priority when the page is loading is interesting. Like the menu things is one of the latter things that loads, because sometimes you'll go to the page and you'll click menu and it just zooms the normal page out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the menu pops up and you're like, oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
We saw the sneak peek of the 2019 calendar.
Oh, yeah, the fucking Texas Motor Speedway promoter's throwing a fucking bitch fit.
Why?
Because there's a NASCAR race, like a cup race, at Texas Motor Speedway the same weekend as the U.S. Grand Prix.
Bro, I got
different audiences.
I feel like there's not that Venn diagram does not have a lot of overlap.
If I, lived in Texas, I would try to go to both. Just because I've been to a NASCAR race, and it's pretty cool in person.
No thanks.
Bro, you saying that if I lived in Texas, I would try to go to both may as well be you would try to go to both living in Oklahoma because all of Oklahoma is closer to Dallas than some parts of Texas are to Dallas.
I recognize that, but like if I lived in Dallas, so it's like 3.5 hours from here.
It's like 3.
Like that still takes 3 hours off of the commute to Austin, which is like 9 hours. Like 9 hours is a long time to drive. 6 hours, it's still long, but like it's reasonable. Like I don't know. 9 hours is a lot longer than 6 hours. For personally, it crosses this threshold of me. For me.
But we've also gone to the USGP and we have not gone to a NASCAR race.
Fuck NASCAR.
And
Yeah,
regardless, it is guaranteed to be closer.
yeah.
And also, the U.S. Grand Prix is basically the same time it has been for years.
It's a week
No,
later.
it's a week later.
It's a week later?
It's the 3rd of November.
Yeah.
The first weekend in
But
November.
it's always like the end of October. So
Dave
like,
Lane can go now.
The first weekend of November has always been the NASCAR race in Texas since that Speedway's been there.
Can't
But these are
believe-
the same people who threw a bitch fit about like the Circuit of the Americas getting some tax breaks and stuff just to exist and that type of stuff that they didn't get. But it's like this totally different animal.
yeah.
So Dave Lang's going to be at the U.S. Grand Prix, right?
Probably not.
Probably, I'm gonna.
He's
I'm
a
gonna
busy
guess no.
man.
Because
There's still 21 races. How many races are this season?
I want to say 21.
21?
Yeah, there's still 21. Man, it goes to December the 1st is the last race.
Oh, I'm okay with that though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a week more, right?
I know, but like that gets us like into the final month of the year. That gives us fresh content through the end of the year.
Happy to see Germany on the calendar.
Yeah, I think Mercedes is kind of doing that.
Yeah. Are
what it
they
sounded like.
like title sponsor for that race?
Yeah.
Similarly, Honda is the title sponsor
What
for
circuit is it at in
Suzuka.
Germany?
They're gonna. I think it's gonna be at Hockenheim again, but they're gonna work on alternating between Hockenheim and Nürburgring.
Okay.
That's something I could
Hockenheim
be.
sucks.
Totally,
I like Nürburgring GP.
I like Hockenheim.
I also like Hockenheim.
Are we still in Monza for Italy next year? Or are we at Imola?
It's been at Monza every year except for one.
What?
Imola used to be
That's
a
what
thing.
they
They
said.
used to alternate.
That's what they said this morning. They said it's been there at Monza every year except for like 1980 or something.
Oh, that's definitely not true.
That's
Because
No,
I,
because
I can
they-
definitely think
Ayrton Senna
about like
died in Imola.
1993.
Yeah. Like,
Like they definitely said something along those lines this morning. I was like, that doesn't sound right, but
Yeah, that's definitely not right.
yeah. Okay, that's neat. So that calendar's out. You can make plans to go to races that we won't go to.
yeah.
Yeah.
What if I've not gone to a race this season,
Nope.
and next year I plan to.
You'll be closer to Canada hopefully by then.
Yes.
So, like, that would be totally reasonable.
Being closer to Canada, would you go to Canada or Mexico?
I would probably go to Mexico because I haven't been yet.
Yo,
murder.
like the U.S. government says, don't go to Mexico.
It's fine.
Like,
I'll be fine.
Probably don't want to go to Mexico.
I would go to Mexico 100 times before I went to Brazil.
Oh yeah,
Also,
absolutely.
yeah, that. But
Like Brazil is the only one I would not want to go to due to concerns for my safety. Everywhere else, like literally every other race, I'm not worried.
Is Azerbaijan fine?
Yeah, I'd go to Azerbaijan.
Their government's just oppressive. It's not actually dangerous.
Yeah, as long as
Yeah.
you don't like chew gum, it's fine. No, that's
Yeah.
Singapore.
So that is Singapore.
as long as you don't drink alcohol in a lot of those companies, you're probably fine.
well, most of those like you just can't get it, so it's not really a concern.
I bet you could get it.
Who's that desperate for a drink?
That
Okay, fair enough.
guy. But no, I saw this thing. I think it was like last week of like bodies being found in like resort places in Mexico.
That was me. That was me talking to you guys about it.
Yeah, like
They're
so-
finding chopped up bodies in Cancun.
Like they've said, like the tour spot's totally cool. It's just like when you get outside of that is where it gets scary.
Leave the resort and, you get your
And
feet
now
cut
the
off.
vacation spots are getting scary. So I'll take a hard pass on that. I don't want my body to be chopped up.
Okie doke.
That changes Devin's plans for tonight.
But I was planning on trying to go to the U.S. Grand Prix next year. We'll see though.
Yeah, I would like. I want to go to Mexico next, just because it's the easiest one to go to that I haven't been to. Because went to US 3 times, just twice. I think we just went twice.
I've been 3 times,
Yeah.
twice with you guys.
Okay, yeah. So I went to the US twice, Canada once, and now I was planning on going to Mexico this year, but then I had
No job.
money?
no job.
As it turns out, that's super important.
It is. I guess it's technically not too late for me to go to Mexico still.
You could.
Like if I somehow got an influx of have a job, like if I
Or an
suddenly
influx of debt.
Yeah, but here's the problem: is you get the influx of have a job, you have to go to that job.
No.
So like, unless you just go and you're back at work on Monday, like you can't just decide.
I mean, I could take a day off maybe.
It really depends, man.
Yeah, I don't think
Like,
I
some
don't
employers
think
are
this
cool,
is going
some
to
are not
happen.
cool.
But
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I got a job and like
Yeah.
it's not cool. Like they were like, no, you have to be at work. So
yeah, like right now, I would like to go to Mexico, and it's possible, though not probable. It is not yet impossible that I will go.
Because it's still in the future.
word.
Yes.
Do you guys have anything else to contribute to
I
this
can't
episode?
go to the 2018 Monza Grand Prix.
Because it's not in the future.
Exactly.
That's how time works.
You could actually.
Is it?
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
time is confusing, and yeah, but we're not going to get into that conversation.
I was worried you were going to say it was a flat circle, and I was going to get mad.
No, I was going to say it's like a wibbly wobbly, timey wimey thing.
Time is a timey-wimey thing.
Yes,
No, it's just like everywhere at once.
it's crazy.
Everything is
Shit's
everywhere.
crazy. But that's not a discussion for this podcast because it has nothing to do with motorsport.
Sure it is. They're all about time.
Do you guys have anything else to contribute to this episode?
You have the least of
When
it,
is the
and
next
you win.
race?
2 weeks from now.
Where are we going?
Singapore.
What time?
Night.
Night.
Oh yeah, I forgot actually. The Singapore's a night race.
So
that's great. I love a night race.
what
Singapore
probably
is so
we
fucking
watch
cool.
it?
Probably early morning. I don't know. Hang on.
I'm gonna let Jeff say whatever
It
time he
doesn't
thinks it is.
It doesn't ever tell me what time.
So Jeff can
It's
say
a
like a
nightmare.
really wrong thing and do math.
Okay, it's in 13 days and 15 hours and 41 minutes. So what time is it right now? It's
God damn it, Jeff!
No, that's what it fucking tells me.
All right, I'm just gonna ignore him and
So
say it's
it's
qualifying's at 8
40
a.m. The race will
minutes
be
from
at
now,
7
so
a.m.
7 a.m. So that's still reasonable.
Yeah.
Hours,
It's awesome.
hours from now.
I'm okay with that. Jeff's still doing math. Devin already said what time it's at.
Yeah, that checks out.
All right, cool. Where can they find us on all the social medias, Devin?
Hatsunemiku.racing.
That's the
That's
website.
not a social
That's Not
media.
a social
I
media.
But
believe
what if it were?
I believe it has the links on the website.
But we're at Radial Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yes.
We're on YouTube. Channel name is Radial Podcast.
Creative.
Yeah, you could listen to our podcast on YouTube if that's how you live your life. Or you could subscribe to get notifications about a video of our logo.
Yeah, click that bell.
Yep.
Yeah. Cluck and bell.
I don't think that we're trying to get that YouTube money.
Why
I
not?
don't think we're eligible for that YouTube money.
I think that train has...
I don't think YouTube money is really a thing anymore.
Yeah, I think
Google was
that
like,
train has left
What
the
if we
station.
kept that money?
Yeah. Yeah, Google was like, hey, what if we fuck them, like, and take all that for ourselves?
What else are they going to do?
Yeah, what are they going to do about it? Use Vimeo? Like, no.
I can't even name a third video platform.
I can't
Oh,
either.
boy.
Yeah.
Like, Facebook,
No, but that's not.
they're
the
pushing
same
that
way.
video thing hard.
Yeah.
One video thing.
They have, like, a video channel thing on YouTube now. Or not YouTube, Facebook. For, like, people to post videos on. It's, like, shitty, though. But they're pushing their video thing really hard. And then there's, like, Vimeo, which is where you can watch, like, unedited and uncensored videos.
Hell yeah, they'll
For your
let
favorite
you
musical
play
artists.
anything.
And then there's YouTube.
Yeah, I can't think of a third one either.
Yeah, like I said, I think that ship left the station years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Because Twitch,
hey man, Twitch is pretty
Does
good.
Twitch
Can
count?
Can we get on Twitch?
No.
they have archives, so does it count?
You think you have to pay to keep archives?
Ooh,
Ooh, it's a bad look.
Well, what if they pay you?
It's a big what if.
We should be on Twitch.
No.
Yeah. Set up that pro account, Austin.
All right.
Pay for it with these socks.
What? Neither of them are wearing socks, I want to point
I got
out.
my bad McLaren flip flops on.
Yeah, you continue to wear them.
I've got my
It's like
Gucci.
nothing
you keep
ever-
saying put miles on them and they'll get better, and I
It's
keep wearing
true.
them and they're still bad.
Also worth noting, they're both just wearing flip flops inside.
Yeah, you're
just
wearing
wearing
shoes
shoes
inside.
Yeah, but shoes I would have to unlace and stuff, and you people just like
Not mine.
You were already inside. You didn't go outside. Why are you wearing flip flops?
I've been outside today.
Were you wearing the flip flops before that?
Were you wearing the flip flops outside though?
Yes.
Interesting.
I drove the Bronco to the on-queue to get my Old Glory.
You got a root beer.
I didn't get a root beer. I got an Old Glory. It's sugar-free.
By the way, big shout out to root beer. Big fan.
It's got to have caffeine in it.
This podcast sponsored by Big Root Beer.
Yes.
Big root beer. Is that a...
It's not a brand.
Isn't
It's
it like-
it's like Big Pharma
Isn't it
or
like
Big Data.
Barks that has caffeine in it?
I don't
And
know.
A&W doesn't?
Barks has bite, so I think so.
It also is good.
Yeah. Also, it's good.
That's what the label says. It's good.
Oh, Barks says it's good?
Yeah.
I don't drink root beer very often.
Neither do I.
My wife hates it.
What?
It's probably
Like, she
'cause
hates the smell of it.
what?
it's got spearmint in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it's so good.
Maybe. I mean, I do enjoy a good root beer occasionally, but I
yeah.
just don't have it
A
very
good
often.
fountain root beer. It really hits the spot sometimes.
Sometimes.
You know, sometimes I like my
Like a-
root beer watered down.
What?
Like sometimes you buy a root beer, then you go to bed, you wake up, and you drink it.
That's not watered down. That's decarbonated.
It had a bunch of ice in it.
Okay, it's watered down.
It's
And
watered down
decarbonated.
and decarbonated.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, it's good sometimes. When you
I
wake
You
up.
know,
like
you know what I like?
taking the carbon dioxide directly into my body. Thank you.
A good root beer, sometimes you just get like a scoop of vanilla ice cream in it. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Hang on. Which order did you do that in?
Typically, you want to put the ice cream in the mug first,
Okay.
not just plop the ice cream down into the root beer.
You gotta pour the root beer like really slowly.
You don't want it to fizz up?
No, you want to pour it really slowly, and then some of the root beer like freezes. And it's so fucking.
There's
good.
an art.
Yeah,
There's an art to a root beer float.
there is, and you're doing it wrong. I guarantee you.
So what if instead you just got a bowl and put like ice cream in there?
If
and
you
then-
pour root beer in a fucking bowl, you can get the fuck out of my house.
I mean, like think about it. That's a way better way to eat a root beer float.
No, because
No.
it's gonna get warmer faster, more surface area.
I want it to get warmer. I want the ice cream to like melt.
No, you want
I
the
want
root
the-
beer to freeze.
No.
Yes.
Hot takes on root beer floats only on the Radial podcast.
God, you're so wrong.
If you, yeah, no.
Guys, we gotta end this.
All right.
Tell us about your root beer float recipes and the Radial Podcast crew on Facebook. Check out the store, shop.radialpodcast.com. I think that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Ratings and reviews on iTunes, and then that's it.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
5-star reviews.
You remember when you were going to look them up and then read some this episode and didn't do that?
Did we get any?
No.
You don't even know.
I don't know.
I don't think that we did.
I don't have.
I'll read them in the post
iTunes.
outro because Jeff's looking right now. If we didn't get any, fuck them. I
I
won't
gotta
read them because
figure
they
out how
don't
to find
exist.
it again.
We'll see you guys next week.
Not
Bye.
the most transparent thing, I guess.
Do you think you could drink a gallon of milk
In
No.
100 minutes? Yeah.
You
No,
literally cannot drink a gallon of milk.
in an hour?
No.
I did 3/4 in like 15 minutes once.
And what happened?
I threw up. It was cold.